How's it going? It's Drew Blazik here. We are on chapter 15. We're going to talk about revenue and some other cost aspects to it, and then we're going to look at a couple of graphs. Again, the Excel file is right below. Download it, please, and you want to upload it once you're completed. So here's our Excel sheet. Hold on, make sure. Okay, I think I got it. All right, so we're going to look at this here. We got the costs. Let's look what we got here. We got quantity. We got marginal. We got marginal costs, and then we got total costs. Okay, what is marginal? It's the additional costs with the additional unit. If we produce zero and we have $100 of costs, what is that cost? That must be the fixed cost. That must be the fixed cost. If we add an additional unit, it's going to cost us 150 more to add that additional unit. So let's do the math. Is that if we produce zero units, it's going to cost us 100. Plus, if we produce one unit, it'll cost us 150 more. So the total cost must be 100 plus the 150. Okay, so if that 100 is the fixed cost, that means the fixed cost is 100 throughout. And then if we have one unit, it's 150 for the additional cost. That means that 150 must be the variable cost for the first unit. The second unit is the additional cost, okay, 202 for the second unit. So let's think about what we have here now is if I want to produce two units, what's my total cost? My total cost is going to be my previous total cost plus the margin, the additional marginal cost, right? So my total cost is 250. If I produce two units, it'll cost me marginal, the cost for the additional unit, $202. So really, it's going to be the same equation throughout. It's the previous plus the additional would be my total cost. So if you drag that down, you solve it. Let's look at this. The price, as you could tell, it does not increase with output. A couple notes I want to make about that. That is not a monopoly. That is not a oligopoly, and that is not monopolistic competition. If the price is the same, it doesn't matter if you increase output. That means we have a demand curve. Uh, Here, let me put this in here real quick. That means if it's the same as you increase output, our demand curve is horizontal, looking like that. That's what our demand curve looks like. That means if you increase output, we're not increasing or decreasing the price. That's perfect competition. We are price takers. We must accept the 120. There's nothing we can do about it. I can't increase my output to drop the price. I can't increase or decrease it to raise the price. It's going to be 120 no matter what. And that's what our demand curve looks like. So if we want to find out our total revenue in this case, all I'm going to do is take the price and I'm going to multiply that times quantity. That's going to be the total revenue. I'm going to bring that down. Now we have the total revenue. Next, we want to know what is the marginal revenue. The marginal revenue is the additional revenue gained from an additional unit. Remember, we have marginal cost. That's the additional cost with the additional unit. This is the additional revenue from the additional unit. So what we want to do is let's do the correct function. It's going to be the change in revenue from this unit minus the previous, right? So this technically is correct because we're increasing it by 1 units. But if these are by tens, I have to divide it by 10. So we want to make sure we do it correct. I'm going to go this unit minus, make sure you bracket it. It's got to be the change in output. We're changing the output by ones, not tens or hundreds. So it's going to give us the same value. And if we drive that down, it's going to be the same. And as you can see, and look what we're doing here. It's the change of revenue is our marginal revenue. And the marginal revenue does not change. It's 120. So this is important so far, is that marginal revenue, and this is only for perfect competition. Let's write this down. Perfect competition. So the marginal revenue is equal to the price. They're the same. Look, the price, only in perfect competition. because you cannot change the price. You get the additional revenue with additional output is always the price. In an oligopoly or monopoly, if you increase output, you go down that demand curve, the revenue might decrease. The marginal revenue will decrease because you have to increase output at a lower price. Not a perfect competition. Okay, now let's find the average revenue. So the average revenue is the total revenue divided by the output. This is the average per output. And if you see what's going on here in perfect competition, the marginal equals the price equals the average revenue equals the demand curve. So this demand curve is horizontal, right? It's 120. So if I had to draw that graph here, like the y-axis, that would be the 120, right? And that's what your demand curve would look like. All right, let's go to the graph. We got some things going on here. Let's see if we can solve it. We got the average total cost. Let's kind of define a few things. I got the marginal cost. Let me spend a few minutes on this, make sure we understand it. We got the marginal cost. We got the average variable cost. The average total cost and average variable cost, what's the difference between that? Is the average fixed cost. Remember I said as you increase output, the average fixed cost gets lower and lower and lower. As you increase output, the gap between the average total cost and variable cost becomes closer and closer and closer. That's real important to see. Marginal is the additional cost for the additional unit. So just let me explain it for a minute here. Is if the marginal, here's the price or the cost on the y-axis, the marginal is below the average. So if the additional unit costs less than the average is going down, right? If you're an 80% free throw shooter and you miss free throws, your average is going down. The additional free throw is your marginal, and the average is overall. So if the additional cost is below it, it's going down, 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 down. Now they intersect, this is important, at the minimum average variable cost, because after that, if you increase output, look what's going on, is that the cost, the additional cost is more than the average. Therefore, the average is going up. So if the marginal is below, it's going down, it intersects at the minimum, and then it's going up. Look what's going on here. Marginal is going up, 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 and the average total cost is going down, 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 down. It's at a minimum. And now the additional cost for additional unit costs more than the average. Now the average is going up. All right, let's look at this. The firm short run supply curve is its marginal cost curve above. So what's saying is, would we ever, oh, let me, hopefully you looked at the PowerPoint. Let me explain a couple things on here. Our marginal cost curve is our supply curve. Okay. This is price and this is cost. This is the average cost per pizza. This is the average total cost that includes everything. This is the short run because the average total cost and average variable costs are separate. In the long run, all you have is total cost. So I want to make sure we understand this point here is that if you charge $4 a pizza and it costs you more than $4, right? This is what it costs on average per pizza. You will not produce the pizza, right? So our supply curve is not below the average variable cost. So the firm short run supply curve is its marginal cost curve above 6. It's above that $6. That means if I charged $8 a pizza, I'm making money more than if I didn't produce a pizza, but I'm still losing money. Okay, why does that make sense? The average total cost has fixed cost. I'm making pizza and I'm chipping away the fixed costs. I'm making more than what it costs to make the pizza, but I still owe the lease. I still owe the payments on my pizza making machinery, whatever. I still owe that stuff. That means if I owed $1 million and I charge more than the average variable costs, That means now instead of owing a million, I owe 500,000, 100,000. And as I raise the price of the pizza, I'm chipping away that fixed cost. That's important. Now, these are the averages. That means you could draw how much money you receive from a pizza and what it costs me on average. That would be my average loss or gain per pizza overall. So let me clarify and emphasize this, that in the short run, we're willing to lose money, but we're only willing to lose the fixed cost because I owe it no matter what. And if I could chip away the fixed costs, I'll do it. In the long run, we're out of business. In the short run, we're willing to lose money. The firm should shut down if the market price is, so we're looking at if it's below, what did I say, five? Five. If the market price is five, the firm, no, maybe I have to clarify this too. If it's at $5, that means I'm receiving $5 per pizza and the average pizza is costing me more than that. I would shut down. Why not at six? And the reason why I did not pick six there is that that's the shutdown decision. Now, if you shut down, it doesn't matter. I sell a pizza for six and I get six. Or you can keep on going. It doesn't matter. That's the decision you have to make. You're never going to receive less money than what you make it for. But if you receive exactly what you make, it's a decision if you want to do it. Anything above that, you're definitely going to accept it because you chip away the fixed costs. At that point, if you charge six and it costs you six, what goes in your decision making? Well, you look at, is economic times look positive? What's going on in the future? I have to make a decision. I want to stay afloat or I'm just going to go out of business. The firm will earn a negative economic profit, but remain in business in the short run if the market price is below 13. I think that's what I picked there, right? I want you to think about what is $13, and we'll cover that in a bit, and above six. So we're losing money, but we'll remain in business. If we're above six and below 13, we're losing money below 13, but we're chipping away the fixed costs, so it's worth it. At 13, this is important. Why I say below, at 13, we're not losing money. We have a zero economic profit. On average, it cost me 13 and I received 13. All right. If the market price rises above 13, the firm will earn, I think I just said economic profit. You know what? Hold on one second. I'm going to see the wording I used. All right. I forgot to say positive economic profit. That's what I just said. I forgot how I worded it. Okay. If the market price is above 13, let's do the same thing here. If the market price rises above 13, the firm will earn them. If the market price is 13, all right, if it's at 13, so if it's above it, we make money. It's a positive economic profit. If it's at 13, that's a zero economic profit. So at 13 is zero. That means we paid off our variable and our fixed costs. If the market price is $10, then the firm will earn a negative economic profit. That's what I put. Hold on a sec. All right, that is correct. Negative economic profit. I just didn't have it light up green. Why is it negative? Again, $10, you are producing those units because you're above that minimum variable cost. You're chipping away the fixed cost, but you're below the average total. So you're losing money overall. You're not making up the total cost. If the market price is at $5, the firm will earn, well, that would be definitely negative. So all I do is type in negative. Hopefully it comes up. There you go. Negative economic profit, 5. Now I just want to note, if it's at $5, we would not produce the unit. We would not produce those units there. We would shut down. We're making less than what it costs us to make the pizza, so we wouldn't do it. Last part here. Let's look at if the mark. Now we got here is an average total cost. We got a marginal cost curve. That's our supply curve. There's our average total cost. Remember, it's always at the minimum average total cost because if the additional cost for the additional unit is below the average is going down, hits a minimum. And if the additional cost is above the average, it's going up. So let's look at this. If the market price is $10. So now this is important. Let me put a graph in here and maybe I could help to, or a line. So when we're talking about perfect competition, we could say this is the demand curve when we put a line there. So it's saying if the market price is 10, that means the market determined it. It's our horizontal demand curve. Um, Remember, marginal cost is the supply curve. So right there is the intersection. So that's the amount of units we would produce. Okay, 5 units. So wherever the price is, our demand curve and the marginal costs. If you produce an additional unit, the additional cost is greater than the additional revenue. If you produce two less, the additional revenue is greater than the additional cost. You want to produce where they're equal to each other. So the market price is $10. What is the firm's short run economic profit? So let's look at this one. Hopefully I did the math correct, built inside. So if it's at $10, we're looking at, this is the average what we're getting. So we're getting on average $10 per unit. And then you want to look at what did it cost us on average. So let's just do this real quick. I'm receiving on average $10. Well, what does it cost us? I have to go down to the average total cost curve. It looks like in the graph, it's at $7. On average, the variable and the fixed cost is 7. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go minus 7. So what it is, this is not gonna be correct right now. It's $3 we're making per unit, right? That's what I'm receiving on average. Let's go down to the average total cost curve. That's what it costs me on average. So what's the point of the marginal cost curve? That's our supply curve. It shows how much you're going to produce. Five units. So now if we want to find out our economic profit, I'm going to multiply that times the quantity, 5. So if it's at $10, we would make a short run economic profit of 15. If the market price is 6, what is the firm's short run economic profit? So we got to look at that. If it's 6, so what do? I'm going to grab that demand curve. If it's 6, you have to find out when does it intersect with the marginal cost curve, which are supply curve right there. And that is 6 is marginal cost is at a minimum average total cost. That's right where it intersects with average total costs. So this would be a 0 economic profit. Or I could have said $0. Right? If it's at $6, that means we're making no money right there. I need to make some so you understand what does economic profit means. We could be making a lot of money, like millions. Remember, opportunity costs is in there. That means we have an alternative, what we could be doing. Okay, economic profit's not the same as accounting profit. That means there's an alternative that is at equal value. Right? If we have if we have a negative economic profit, that means there's something else we could be more profitable. If we're positive, we're doing the best we could do. So remember that's opportunity cost. Okay, if the market price is 10, what is the firm's total cost? Again, I'm going to take that demand curve. I'm going to go to 10. What is the total cost? Well, that's going to show you when to produce 5 units, and it's costing us $7 on average. So what we're going to do is say it's 7 times 5. If the market price is 10, what is the firm's total revenue? Again, we're at 10. We'll go here. Well, we're producing 5 units and we're selling it at, so that's going to be 5 times 10. So that would be 50. There you go. Study these graphs. Make sure you understand it. If you have any questions, please let me know.